Welcome everyone to your weekly pick a card reading for Monday the 31st of October to Sunday the 6th of November, or for whenever you come across this reading, as the messages are timeless. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that these messages from Spirit resonate and they guide you in your week ahead. Let's get started. Okay everyone, we have pole number 1, pole number 2, pole number 3 and pole number 4. We have the tourmaline for pole number 1. We have the howlite for pole number 2. We have the tiger's eye for pole number 3. And we have the flower agate for pole number 4. It's quite pretty, that. There we go. So everyone, timestamps will be below. Please pick a pole that resonates with you, that you feel drawn to, a colour, an image, the number of the pile, the crystal, however you feel drawn to choose, or just haphazardly, it doesn't matter. I'm sure there'll be a message in there for you. Again, if you feel drawn to more than one pile, that's fine. Just select as many piles as you feel called to. Welcome pile number 1. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So you have to feel your innate sense of truth, develop open-mindedness, embrace the masculine. I like the green. Snake spirit with a time to heal. You have the 7 of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. Okay. Let's have a look. This is interesting energy. So your first card, pole number 1, is to feel your innate sense of truth, develop open-mindedness. Now the message that I'm getting with this card, pole number 1, is our truths are not always, they don't always come from a place of open-mindedness or a place of wisdom is what I want to say. A lot of our truths, before we begin to awaken and before we begin to see things in a different way, a lot of our truths are learnt. Our parents, our teachers, school, who we socialize with, our friends, our partners, that kind of thing, and also what we've experienced in our life, that will also form our truth. And with this card, I'm sensing, and I think it's because the snake spirits here take time, a time to heal. I feel that Spirit is drawing your attention, pole number 1, to the truths that you have that are not based on open-mindedness. They're actually based on being closed off to something. Sometimes our truths enable us to build walls around us for protection or for safety. Sometimes they keep us stuck in routines and habits that really don't serve us. They keep us stuck in a way of life that doesn't serve us. Now, these kind of truths, they can be based on anything. They can be the truths we have about money, the truths we have about relationships, about work, how we have to work, how much we have to work, how much do we have to do in life. Our truths are also what we think of ourselves, how we see ourselves. And your innate sense of truth is also, it comes from your values, or should come from your values, more so than from what we've learned, especially if we're creating our truths from a place of pain or anger or sadness, from a place of fear. That's a very interesting message to start off with, and we'll go ahead and have a look at the other cards now to see how that plays out for you, pole number 1. But I feel that Spirit here is drawing your attention to what you believe in. What are your values? Do you even know what they are? Have you ever stopped to think about them? And when you do stop to think about them, when you do start to look into them and see, okay, well, I guess I believe in this. Look at, does it serve you? What does it mean to you? And does it help you or does it hinder you? And then we have the snake spirit, and it says time to heal. Now I'm really drawn to the 55. I often am with the snake spirit card, drawn to the 55. Because I feel that, so your 5's pole number 1 is all about change. So it's change, but it's change associated with adventure. So it's not changing one known for another. You know, it's changing jobs, but changing completely, where you're doing something completely different. It's something that has an element of risk in it, or an element of taking a chance. 5s also signify movement, so action, taking action. And like I said, there can be a sense of risk in it, or there could be surprises in the 5. And I feel we often need to heal in order to change. That's what makes us grow and evolve. And I feel the snake spirit is in this reading for you, pole number 1, this week, because it's in healing that we then get to move forward. And I feel that's what the Embrace the Masculine is here for. It's that you're going to be in a place where you'll be able to start to take action, but there's healing, there's awareness that needs to come in first before you can take that action. Because then when our action comes from a place of wisdom, and that's what we often gain when we heal, our decisions come from a higher place. So they're made in wisdom. We make decisions that serve us. so far, pole number one, with both your cards, there's a real sense of looking inwards, like inner work. And apart from the masculine card, there's action with the Seven of Wands a little bit, but the rest is quite calm. You know, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight. He's standing still, so there's not great movement. It's almost like take the time to look within, take the time to do the inner work. And I know, pole number one, it's often that we don't like readings like this, because we want to have a reading where it's like, right, go out and get it, the opportunities are coming, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. But this reading is really, it's inner work. This is a week where it's really time to look within you, pole number one. You have embraced the masculine. And I don't know if you can see, but the number on the card is 11. And what a beautiful number to get after the 5/5s become a 10 and a 1. And then a 1. So you've got a lot of ones in this reading. And the ones is the new beginning. It's the fresh start. It's the fresh energy. It's the new opportunities. And I feel that's coming, but not yet. I thought this greenery, and I really love this card. I don't know why, I can often just get lost looking at it. I think this would make a beautiful card to just stare at while you meditate. But as I was looking at it and talking, I just felt like everything was sprouting. And I got the sense that pole number one, you're evolving. You're growing. And that's the action that's taking place. So there is action taking place, but it's inside of you. I really feel that it says embrace the masculine, but don't push it. And we've all got the masculine and feminine in us. Sometimes they can be out of balance, and it doesn't matter whether you're male or female or anything like that. It's just the energy. And I feel like the masculine energy is there, and I almost get a sense like you're trying to harness it to just keep going. And I don't feel that your energy levels are really up. I don't feel that that's the energy that you're in right now. I feel that you almost, it's a strange kind of feeling, because the masculine for me is very much the doing and the feminine is very much the receiving. And I feel with this masculine energy, it's almost like balance the masculine so it can quieten down, and so your feminine can rise up. When you acknowledge the masculine and say, right, yes, you're there, I'm not going to push you, I'm not going to force you. It is much more very controlling kind of energy compared to the feminine energy. The feminine energy would be more likely to be manipulative if we were looking at their unbalanced aspects. So it's almost like if you embrace the masculine, embrace that it's there. But this is the time to just acknowledge that your time for movement will come. But right now, you just need to almost let it be in the background. And don't let it engulf you and try to push you forward. It's not the energy that's presenting itself now. There's also the sense that the masculine energy is also stepping into your power. You know, masculine energy is very powerful out into the world. The masculine energy is very much like the emperor. It's sitting in your power, standing in your power, knowing your truth. And maybe that's all you need to do with the masculine energy. Embrace that, but leave the doing where the masculine energy pushes things out into the world. That's not what's now required. The inner growth. It's the inner work, pole number 1. This is the inner growth, the evolving that leads you to have a better understanding, to heal your path, which then brings you into an energy of your real power, authentic power. Not power that you used against others, but power where you can tap into your gifts, your talents. You can see honestly your weaknesses and your strengths. And then you have the Seven of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. And I feel that this Seven of Wands is in your reading today is very much this masculine do energy. And it's got you scurrying around where you, like he's got 2 different shoes on. So it's that rushed, like just, it's not panic in the sense that you're scared and panicked, but it's almost like, I think you're trying to avoid this. This snake spirit is rising in you. You're starting to see how things trip you up. You're starting to see how some of your truths are not actually yours. You've picked them up along the way. And they were made in fear. And I feel that you're really in this energy of, no, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep pushing. I'm just going to keep fighting through and I'll get there. And the Knight of Pentacles is saying no. The Knight of Pentacles is, the Pentacles are really grounded in this world. You know, they're resources, they're our jobs, it's our money. The Cups is more love, but I do see Pentacles as relationships as well. It's everything that we see in our lives around us. And the Knight of Pentacles, you know, he's got the Ace of Pentacles and he's planning. He's quite methodical, he's quite slow, and it can be an energy as well of procrastinating. And it's interesting, isn't it, because some of us procrastinate by just putting our head in a hole and just not looking at what's in front of us. You know, we'll just put it aside and just, you know, it's almost like putting those bills in a drawer and pretending they don't exist. Some of us procrastinate by doing everything else but what we need to be doing. And I laugh because I feel like we've all fallen into that, haven't we? You know, there's been a job that we've kind of been putting off, we don't want to do. Suddenly we're hungry. Then suddenly, oh no, we have to do the housework. Suddenly we have to do, you know, we just fill our day with everything but what we're supposed to do. And we wear ourselves out. And we accomplish very little. And I feel that Spirit's kind of saying, look, if you find yourself racing around, or if you find yourself filling your day with everything else and keeping yourself so busy that you don't have time to have a quiet moment where you can start to do some inner work, I think the place to start, poll number 1, is maybe ask yourself why. When we don't want to see something inside ourselves, when we start to do our inner work and then we think, oh, often it's because we see things that we think are bad, or we see things that we don't know how to deal with. But by shutting them off, you know, it's like those bills in the drawer, they're still there. Even if we don't acknowledge them, they're still there. Those truths still play a part in our life. You know, they will still be what we base our decisions on. And then there's the Page of Cups. And the card says, sensitive, open-hearted, inexperienced, moody. Messages regarding relationships, new emotional experiences, a romantic encounter, social invitations or events, heightened psychic abilities. And I love how this card says the new emotional experiences. And I think that's what you're doing. And maybe because your psychic abilities are heightened, you are drawn to do your inner work. You are drawn to look at, and it'll be different for everybody, poll number 1. So just take it and apply it as it works for you, as it fits in with you. But the Page of Cups is, I always see it as the page has accepted the gift from the universe, which is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups leads to fulfillment. The cups are our emotions. You know, they can be love. And for you, I really feel you're really at the start. And that's not to say the very start. We have different awakenings and different journeys that start by us looking within ourselves, and then we evolve out. You know, then we move out into the world and start changing things in our world. For you, poll number 1, I really feel that this is a new way of seeing yourself that you haven't previously, and it's actually going to change a lot. But let it come slowly. And please, I mean, I know we're all busy and we all have our commitments, but this energy is not that. This energy is filling your spare time up with things that maybe don't really need to be done, or could be done at another time, just so that you don't have to go within. I'm going to leave you with those messages, poll number 1. Love and light, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, poll number 2. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have, beware that your thoughts and feelings are just as impactful as your actions. Yes, that's very true. We have a new day dawns. We have Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit. we have the Ace of Swords, we have Death, and we have the Nine of Pentacles. Straight up, I just feel all this is very powerful. It just feels like it's going to be a powerful reading, real transformation. So pole number 2, we start with, be aware that your thoughts and feelings are just as impactful as your actions. And that's hard for us to imagine, isn't it? That's something that we often forget. You know, we see our actions in the world and we see what we reap from them, basically. And sometimes we can overlook how our thoughts and our feelings actually still react with the outer world, and they also bring us what we are experiencing. And that's not always easy to remember. And I feel it's why it's so important to have that balance between the being and the doing. You know, a lot of us think that it's the actions, it's the doing that brings us what we need in the world. And of course, that's absolutely true. But that's only half of it. And we can be taking action in the world in all the right ways. But if our thoughts and feelings contradict our actions, we're going to get half results. So being is just as important as doing, because it's when we are being, it's in those moments of calm and peace and just being, not doing anything, just being receptive to thoughts and ideas, and you know, that calming the mind, being in the now. That's when we can actually see what our thoughts and feelings are. So there's a sense of balance here, pole number 2, that I feel needs to be embraced. And you have the next card is the Lion Spirit, and it says be generous of spirit. Now it's funny because I have a really different message with this card today than I normally do, and I feel it's in regards, like it's a follow through from this card. And I feel be generous of spirit. I'm feeling that it's saying you are a spirit. You know, there's spirit, there's source, God, the universe, but you are also a spirit, a soul. And I'm feeling like the Lion Spirit is saying, allow it to be generous to it. And not in a sense, well, give time to it. So that's in a sense of being generous to it. Give it time to, you know, spend time with it. Spend time with your inner self. Be generous to yourself. And that's not going out and buying yourself things. And I mean, of course it could be. But this is more your soul, you, the inner you. This is to bring balance. I'm just getting a sense that, you know, you could be somebody that actually really looks after yourself quite well. But are you as generous with your soul as you are with your body? Are you as generous with your mind as you are with your body? feel like it's saying turn the generosity inwards. And then you have a new day dawns. And you know, pole number 2, look at this, you've got an ace, which is new beginnings, new opportunity. You've got the death card, which is transformation, but it's also the ending of a cycle, like the end of a cycle. When I see the death card, it's not a tweak in the road. I mean, unless there are all the other cards indicate that, but the death card for me is not physical death, but it's the death of the life as we knew it, the death of the self as we knew it, the death of our ideas, our thoughts as they were. It's that transformation. And when we transform, we change. And this is the card number 1, which is all the new beginnings. And I like how the card says a new day dawns. There's a new day dawning here as well. It's almost like pole number 2. No matter what you're going through now, the sun will always come up tomorrow. And that's something that we don't often compare with our own life. We don't even think about it. We don't give it much thought. We don't give it much energy. But I feel with this card, pole number 2, Spirit's actually saying to you, you will always overcome everything. You know, just as a new day dawns after the night, well, after a period of difficulty, you will move forward. After periods of difficulty, there will be joy again. Everything, it's this sense of balance that I'm getting again, actually, even with this card, with all the oracle cards, I'm getting this real sense of balance, of really looking at the really bigger picture of how we can't have up without down. We can't have up days without down days, because we just wouldn't appreciate the up days. We wouldn't understand, like, if we have nothing to compare it with, it means nothing. We can't describe it. And I'm almost getting a sense of your whole being, you as a whole entity. So that's mind, spirit, body, and your life that you've created around you. I just get the feeling there's going to be this reshuffling or this rebalancing, and I feel that things will fall away, but there's new things coming. And it's almost like with this a new day dawns, it's almost like Spirit saying, even if this is difficult, we always get past the difficulties. We always do. And they can take time. You know, we can feel a little bit worn out, a little bit, well, kind of down and, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, forgotten, abandoned, or just just not happy. And I hope there are not too many of you that are in that place, but I'm kind of looking at the grey here, and I'm just feeling there's a sense of a grey mood, or not feeling uplifted, feeling burdened. But I think it's because things are out of balance. I wonder, pole number 2, if you've been doing a lot, or if you're just focused on the doing. Because that can really make us, that can really bring us out of balance. It's very interesting because pole number 1 had a very similar message. It's different, but it's very similar, and it's kind of bringing, it'll be interesting to see what poles 2 and 3 and 4 bring. I wonder if there's going to be a shift this week where we're all going to be trying to find a bit more balance in our life, balance between energy that we push out into the world and energy that we give ourselves, that we reserve for our inner work. You have the Ace of Swords and the Death card. Now I'm really interested in how these are around, are the, like, in the positions that they're in, and how the beginning is coming before the end. And that's, I'm wondering if this is how it's going to play out for you, pole number 2, to reassure you in some way. Because I feel when this opportunity comes in now, the Ace of Swords, so the aces are a gift from the universe, but you have to do something with it. You have to accept it. You have to take it. And the swords is often the intellect, so it's your mind. So in this instance, it could be a new idea. You know, a message from somebody that just sets you on a different path. Clarity that comes to you. And your aces are the opportunities. The opportunities that come your way. And I feel this opportunity is going to lead to the Death card. So not leading to death, everybody. It's just leading to endings. But I think that it's actually going to help, because you're going to see this new beginning, and I think that's what's going to make you reevaluate everything. Is this new opportunity something that you've been thinking is never going to happen, and then suddenly you can see a glimpse of it, or somebody might say something and show you a different way to go about it? But this opportunity is going to have you questioning a lot. And now this opportunity can just be clarity within you, a new understanding of yourself. And I feel for the majority of you, because of the oracle cards, I really feel that that's where most of you are. And this is clarity, this is wisdom, this is something in you that just makes you go, oh, I never saw it like that before. And it's going to have you reevaluating how you think and feel. And the minute we start changing how we think and we feel about things, that manifests in our world. Don't be afraid, pole number 2, with this Death card, with this transformation, with letting go of the old that you'll see no longer serves you on this path. Please don't let that hinder you in any way, shape or form. because your final card is the Nine of Pentacles. The card says, enjoying the fruits of your labors, hard work that has led to a luxurious life, buying yourself something special, happily and successfully self-employed, enjoying your solitude. Now, in this reading, I feel that this is not here yet. I almost feel like it's your future. This is what this is guiding you. Look, the Death card is walking towards. I even want to say, the Lion Spirit is looking towards. It's all in the future. Change. We worry so much about change. And even just changing ourselves, let alone changing our life. Because I think deep down we do realize that when we change ourselves, our outer world changes. And I think you're going to be surprised, pole number 2, that having fewer actions, so actually doing less in the world, but aligning your thoughts and feelings with the actions that you take, I think you're going to be so pleasantly surprised with what that can manifest. I feel like for a lot of you, what you're leaving behind might not be relationships or jobs or tangible things. It can just be all those mindsets, those thoughts and feelings that you had about who you are, what the world is like. When you change those and align those with the actions that you take, because the actions that you're taking to get somewhere, when you realize that when you combine all that energy, you're unstoppable, and yet you will find that you do less. Such a interesting reading, pole number 2, and I really feel it's rein in on how much you're doing, and start looking at how your thoughts and feelings could be working against you, and how do they need to change for you to be better aligned, so you head in the one direction. I'm surprised the Chariot isn't here, where it's the being aligned and moving forward with all parts of you that are working together, not against each other, where you kind of zigzag all over the place. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 2. Love and light, my friends. Thank you so much again for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. See yourself as you would see a friend. Be objective about it. Interesting. Heed your dreams. Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself. Oh, wow. The Tower, the Empress, and we've got the Knight of Cups. Okay. Okay, pole number 3. See yourself as you would see a friend. Be objective about it. I get this energy that you have been really hard on yourself, pole number 3. Like, when I mean hard on yourself, I mean really berating yourself, really I'm just getting all I'm just getting all these downloads like, oh, you're so stupid. Why did you say that? You shouldn't have done that. Oh, who do you think you are? I'm just getting just this like phrases after phrases just coming in of really, poll number 3, are you telling yourself that you're stupid? Are you telling yourself, are you calling yourself an idiot? I'm just really getting those kinds of words and feelings, like, and scoffing at yourself, like, oh, that kind of energy. And hey, I'm certainly not pointing the finger, because I have definitely been there, and yeah, we find ourselves there continuously. It's so often that we finish a conversation, we walk away, and we literally kick ourselves, don't we? Why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? Why did you say this? You should have said this, and it goes on and on and on. And we can carry on like that for days, weeks. And it's very damaging. It's because it's damaging to our self-esteem. It wears us down and it wears us out. And then it almost like, then it creates, then the next time we find ourselves with people, we feel straight away inhibited, because we did apparently such a bad job last time that now we're almost afraid to open our mouth. And when we come from that space, we're trying to think before we say anything, we'll play it out in our heads, but then everything comes out really unnatural. Everything comes out really controlled and almost to the point where we're not even really listening to what others are saying, because we're so focused on, oh gosh, what are we going to say next? To not sound stupid, or to not sound like an idiot, or to not appear like, a silly person. And the squirrel spirit's here saying, believe in yourself. That's all that is needed. Poll number 3 is just to believe in yourself. There is not one person that has ever been alive on this earth since the beginning of time that has not at some point said something that they regret. There will always be something that was said in anger, something that was said in jealousy, something that was said in hopefulness, something that was said in vulnerability, something that was said in fear, something that was said in joy. And how people interpret that, it's not our business. We need to be aware of, when we interact with people, the more aware we can be of what energy we're in. When we're talking to them, are we coming from anger? Are we coming from fear, insecurities, embarrassment, whatever? For us to know that is beneficial. But how they're going to interpret what we say, where do you start? And even if you could think of 100 ways that they might react, they'll react, or they may react completely different. So you can't even foresee that. I feel, poll number 3, that you've either been through something that was difficult, And you have time now to time, or maybe a bit of distance from it, where you can really look at it again and look at what happened, look at the way it happened. You're probably being quite honest with yourself on a certain level about the part that you played in it. And I feel it's taken a bit of your confidence, and not a bit, but I feel like it's taken your confidence away. It's made you doubt yourself. It's probably made you feel bad about yourself. Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself. You know, we can just say, oh, believe in yourself, know that you are wonderful and that you will achieve. And yes, it's all that, but it's also believe in yourself. What happened had to happen for you to learn. Maybe it was for them to learn something. The importance is not what happened almost, it's what do you take away from that? And I feel that's that energy. You know, see yourself as you would see a friend. You know, often we're kinder to our friends than we are to ourselves. So, you know, when you are in this quiet moment, you know, looking at what happened, what went down, imagine you're talking to a friend. Imagine, but the friend is you in the situation. So if your friend was telling you about the situation, you wouldn't then stand there and go, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. You would be, but, and I guess they're excuses, but by looking at them, we can start to see, okay, what started off as an excuse, or the only reason I yelled at him is because he was being so mean. Okay, let's just go with something very simple. Okay, so, you know, then you can look deeper. Why, you know, is he always mean? Am I in a relationship with a mean person? Do I accept that? Have I been accepting? So see how very quickly, when you just take facts and don't kind of drown in the emotions and don't relive everything, very quickly you start to filter through and you start to see how the situation is trying to wake you up to something. And I feel the next card, it says, heed your dreams. Now I feel this card very much in your reading pole number 3 is twofold. One is pay attention to your dreams. I think at the moment our dreams are really vivid. Not all of them, but I feel that we're getting a lot of messages through our dreams. At the moment, there's a lot of clarity. If we give ourselves a chance, there's a lot of clarity that's going to come through our dreams. There's going to be a lot of understanding. But this is also your dreams, as in your dream, as in your goal. What is your goal, pole number 3? What are you trying to achieve? And what's stopping you from achieving it? And by that I mean, what are your beliefs? What beliefs do you have that are holding you back? And they can come through in your your dream form at night. I also get a sense of time. with this card, because it's the night and day and the seasons, and I kind of feel that I'm almost getting like time heals all wounds. I feel this believe in yourself, pole number 3, is so important in this reading, and being kind to yourself like you would be to a friend. It's almost like heed your dreams. I almost feel like Spirit's trying to put you back on track, back on focusing on not what went wrong, but where are you trying to go now? Where are you heading? Do you know now? You might have had so many things change that you don't even know what your goals are anymore, your dreams are anymore. And I feel that part of your healing is going to come through that, resetting goals for yourself. Now you have the Tower and the Empress, and I love, you've got 2 major arcana, and that's the universe stepping in. That's, we co-create with Spirit, we do our bit and Spirit does its bit, and your bit is to start believing in yourself again and look at what your dreams are, look at what your goals are. Now for some of you, I feel the Tower's already fallen, and now you're heading towards the energy of the Empress. For some of you, I feel that when you embrace this Empress energy, the Tower will fall. So let me explain both. So the Empress is abundant. She does not understand the word lack. She's often depicted as a pregnant woman, so she's ready to give birth, to birth new ideas into the world, new projects. And they, the wheat here is like the harvest time. They're abundant. They reap rewards. She knows that whatever she needs, it will come to her when she needs it. And it's a gentle energy, it's a nurturing energy. Going back to the pregnancy, that's like the incubation period, and there's nurturing, there's caring, there's gentleness in that. And I feel that's the energy, again, to really birth these dreams, even to just birth the ideas of where you want your life to go. The healing energy of believing in yourself again. And the Tower is, we've built our life on not a solid foundation, so the minute it gets shaken, it sort of crumbles down. And this can be anything in our life. It can even be just the way we see ourselves. And for a lot of you, pole number 3, I really feel this Tower moment is it's suddenly going to really dawn on you how you treat yourself, how maybe you allow others to treat you. And I think this is where the kindness with yourself is really going to be needed, because you're really going to maybe feel inclined to really kick yourself and go, why have I been putting up with this? It doesn't matter. Every experience teaches us something. Every experience enables us to grow and evolve and then go out and achieve more. I think it's very, I didn't want to say the word, but that's the only word that's coming to me. It's very foolish to think that we can achieve all our dreams and goals without ever having any lessons or having any situations that enable us to grow in wisdom, in understanding. And we finish the reading with the Knight of Cups, and the card says romantic, flirtatious, introspective, fickle, falling in love, being swept off your feet, a sudden love affair, a lack of balance in a relationship, situational topics that make your heart flutter, a love of art and poetry. And I'm wondering if this, like the lessons that you have received, pole number 3, I feel that pretty much for all of you it's been through relationships. So partners, colleagues, friends, family, or the different types of relationships that we have with those around us. And I feel that when you gain your confidence again, when you see, okay, yes, I gave away my power in that situation. Thank you. I'll never do that again. Or I might, but next time I'll see it. I'll see it much quicker. And I feel the Knight of Cups, like when you understand that, your heart's going to overflow for yourself. I know that sounds a bit weird, pole number 3, but I feel that I can feel my heart chakra opening. I feel, like love flowing out of you because it's flowing in you. And where you've probably built walls around you to protect yourself from relationships or situations, or from what other people were doing, but also what you were doing to yourself, there's this sense of release. There's this sense of, and I just looked at the waterfall and I just saw tears. Pole number 3, allow yourself to cry if you need to. It's healing. There's sadness, but also remember to say thank you. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for allowing me to see that now so I don't fall into the same trap next time. And you're going to see it. There's going to be joy. There's going to be this sense of, I almost wanted to go, when we just like, oh my gosh. And I feel uplifted. And you're going to feel that, pole number 3, once you start this, very, very quickly, very quickly. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love and light, pole number 3. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you for this week. Avoid hateful thoughts, as they are just as hurtful as physically striking someone. Okay, all this week's messages have been on our thoughts and our feelings, and so I believe there's a lot of inner work to be done. Look at that, follow the moon. I think that card is so beautiful. Cat Spirit, claim your independence. The Hermit. The Knight of Wands. And release. Now, the release card in the traditional tarot is the Death card. So you've got two major arcana sandwiched in between your passions and going for it. Pole number 4, I should have said this for every other pole, but pole number 4, if you were drawn to one of the other piles and you kind of were umming and ahhing, watch them. It doesn't matter which one. They're all on a very similar theme this week, which is really interesting. Okay. Avoid hateful thoughts as they are just as hurtful as physically striking someone. Pole number 4, same with every other pole. I don't feel there's nobody else in this reading. It's not your interactions with others, it's your interaction with yourself. The Follow the Moon and the Hermit, I almost feel like they're almost the same energy. And this is, for me, this card is shadow work. It's looking at those aspects of yourself that you don't like or that you don't think are acceptable. And it's embracing them and accepting them as part of you. October is a really healing month on the level that I believe Spirit wants us to get clear. Get clear with what we want, what we're trying to achieve, and how we hold ourselves back. To stop looking at the outside world and look at what in us is holding us back. And this card to me, pole number 4, is saying to me, your thoughts are not helping you. Your thoughts are hurting you. Our self-talk is so important, and I'm looking at this cat spirit. Actually, I'll bring it in because so cat spirit is saying claim your independence. It's very hard to be independent and to take chances, to take leaps of faith, to trust in oneself. When our self-talk is so damaging, when our self-talk is telling us the opposite. If you tell yourself 30 times a day that you cannot do something, you won't be able to do it. Or some of you might, but it's going to take 10 times the energy. It's going to take some real effort, some real pushing. I'm feeling that a lot of you, for pole number 4, I feel like a lot of you want more independence. You've got your own ideas that you want to run with. You want to do things your way. Cat Spirit is saying, go for it. There is nothing stopping you. The only thing is your mindset. Now, I can already hear you saying, and this is probably even my subconscious saying, well, what if I don't have the money? What if I don't have the correct people around me? What if I don't have the right job? What if? And that's true. But this reading is asking you to see, is it a mindset? Forget about the doing in the world. Do you think you can? Do you think you can? Okay, so imagine that you say you think you can. Yep, I can do this. I can achieve this. There'll be a but I need this, that or the other. Fair enough, pole number 4. So now do you believe that you can bring this, that or the other into your life when you need it? And do you believe so much so that you continue on your path? That you don't chase it? You don't push and try to force things to happen. You allow them to come to you. That's not to say that you lay in bed until it happens. You keep doing what you're currently doing. But is there a sense of receiving in you? Are you open to receive? Sometimes with the independence as well, with the cat spirit, it can be as well seeing one way of doing it. There could be multiple ways. And I feel in your reading, pole number 4, this is you. Like I've said, I think to all the 3 poles before, this is all inner work. It's all looking at what you say to yourself, what you believe. And you want to, the cat spirit here is just, I'm just getting the word, you just want to be free. So I'm not sure what you want to be free of. Maybe it's just these thoughts. Maybe it's the chains that you've bound yourself with, metaphorically. And I feel with the card Follow the Moon, you are being drawn to look inside of you. Where are your thoughts coming from? They're not all going to be hateful, but where are your thoughts coming from? Because follow the moon, doing your shadow work, because the moon is, you know, it's reflective light. So when the moon's out, it casts lots of shadows. Things are also a bit hidden. They're harder to see. When we do our shadow work, it asks us to look at every aspect of ourselves and to acknowledge and accept every aspect of ourselves. Now, I can't remember if it was pole number 1 or pole number 2, but I was drawn to talk about which wolf are you going to feed. It's a very famous quote, but the quote is, what am I trying to say? They've cropped it basically, so there's only part of it, and the part that they've written is actually not entirely correct, because it's we have 2 wolves within us, a light and a dark, and which could be good and evil, or however you want to see it. The aspects that we are happy that we like about ourselves, and aspects that we don't like about ourselves. And the saying says, which one do you feed? implying that if you have good thoughts, you feed the good wolf. Only feed the good wolf. But that's not the full quote, because if you, I think I gave the little example of you're on a tropical holiday, all expenses paid, you can have massages, you can participate in all the activities, scuba dive, whatever you want to do, but you cannot eat. So you're feeding one wolf and not the other. Very, very quickly, all the glitter, all the luxury, all the wonderfulness of this tropical island and everything that it has to offer you is going to seem nothing, because all you're going to think about is eating. That's all you are going to think about. So if you starve the shadow part of you, which is anger, fear, resentment, jealousy, all those emotions that we would like to not have, they're part of us. If we don't acknowledge them, so when you feed a wolf, you acknowledge that it's there. You allow it to come up. You say, yes, I see you. You go greet it. You know, somebody makes you angry, you acknowledge, I'm angry. You don't just go, oh, no, I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be angry. I'm just going to smile and I'm just going to get over it. It's a lie, pile number 4. That's how we lie to ourselves, and it's damaging. Because then how can you trust yourself when you're constantly lying to yourself? So Spirit is asking you to go to your shadow side. Go to the side that we all would rather push away and pretend didn't exist. The parts of us that we don't like, they are still part of us. They are there. And you know, pole number 4, you wouldn't know what joy was if you didn't have sadness. Everything is, it's all a duality, it's all a polarity, it's all, because it's the only way we can see the difference between things. And I really feel that we're being called to really embrace all aspects of ourselves, to not be afraid of any, to not be embarrassed about them. And you have the Hermit and the Knight of Wands. And the Hermit is very much this energy. It's very much gaining wisdom through introspective. It's kind of like a retreating. Like, we can't all retreat to, you know, a cave somewhere in the middle of nowhere to, you know, we've got our lives to live, but finding time for yourself. This is the star he's holding in his lantern. That's the healing star. And it's healing. This is the Hermit for me, is the healing card. It's time to go within and it's time to heal. And the reason is because you've got new drives, you've got new passions that you want to take off on. And some of you, I'm even feeling, pole number 4, that some of you don't even know what this is yet. I feel that you've got this independence. You kind of want to just get this sense that you want to burst out of your life. Some of you might know, some of you not yet. But you've got hopes and dreams that are starting to bubble up within you. But there's healing. There's something that needs to take place first. There's a change of mindset. And that's not making all your thoughts sweet, making all your thoughts beautiful. It's acknowledging the thoughts that you have. and going, oh, okay. And then looking at that thought and saying, okay, random thought, just because of the situation I've just found myself in, or does that thought stem from a really deep belief that I have about myself? Because release is the death card, and the death card is pure, complete transformation. So the card says endings that lead to new beginnings, the need to release situations or people that hold you back, spiritual transformation. And I feel, pole number 4, you have to go through this inner work, this spiritual transformation before you can go out into the world and achieve your goals and dreams. And every pole pretty much this week has had the same message. And I feel October has really been that month for us. I mean, this is the very end of October, and we might all be feeling a bit worn out because of these energies, because we've probably started looking within ourselves, but we're not acknowledging what needs to be done. So we're going to take this into November, and I think the work is going to be over the next month or so, because there are new beginnings that are coming. We know, I think, as a species, pole number 4, I think we're no longer willing to carry the baggages of the past, to carry past hurts. I think we're finally realizing, and we can see the wisdom in this quote, but it's hard to apply sometimes to our life. But it's like, you know, drinking the poison and expecting somebody else to die. That's what happens when we hold on to all these negative emotions. We're drinking the poison, but we're expecting somebody else to suffer from it. It doesn't work like that. We are the only ones that suffer. And the more we suffer, the more that gets put out into the world, and the more our interactions with others are tinged with that suffering. And the suffering is on something that is no more. And I think we're all learning to release that, to let it go, to understand that we are whole as we are. And there are bits that we don't like. But that's only because, you know, we see things as good or bad. But if you change your perspective, everything is useful, but in different situations. I just feel these thoughts, these feelings, these emotions, this independence, this transformation really bubbling up inside of you. Allow it, pole number 4. Allow it and then release. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at when you let go of all the baggage from the past. What is actually left? I think this dream, or whatever this Knight of Wands is, I think it's really going to just make you go, oh yes. You're going to understand what all this work was for. It's going to feel, inner work never feels good, but once we get started and we start getting through it, it does feel good. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 4. Love and light, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.